Hey man, how are you doing? Good, buddy. Okay, how the lake is. At least the beginning of it. There we go. That's about just off. Well, there I wanted to hit just in front of it. So what I'm doing is I'm dragging the lead across the floor to see what I catch. Yeah, it's a nice fish. Very nice fish. Smile, good job, dude. Very good. Well, we're heading off to local lake. Just a couple hour session, maybe 5 hours. Not expecting a whole lot. So on a session like this, I'm not going to go with a bunch of baiting. I'm not going to go crazy with the bait boats or anything nutty. I keep my setup pretty minimal. 2 rods, 1 bag, bring a chair with a little bit of food and water, and yeah, just keep it straightforward. I really don't have enough time to attract the fish, so I'm not setting up shop. You know, it's not like I'm going to attract them and develop some buzz in a few hours. The idea is to hopefully I can find the fish, or the fish are already there. The problem with the lake that I'm fishing at is, and I've caught a lot of fish out of this lake. I've caught a ton of fish. You don't see them very often, quite frankly. Once in a while you see them fizzing. You don't see them really break in the water very often, which is quite a big challenge, because like number 1 rule of carp fishing in general is, where are the fish? Fish where the fish are and your chances go up dramatically. That's probably rule 1, 2 and 3 of carp fishing, is fish where they are. So this lake can be a little challenging. They've also blocked off most of the one side of the lake where really I've had a ton of luck, and I think it's where a lot of the fish hold up. So can't fish there. And we'll just see what happens. We'll have a fun day today and give it a shot. Hey man, how are you doing? Good, buddy. Thank you. Have a good day. It's quite an interesting place, this. Got a lot of facilities for families, camping and hanging out. And then obviously the lake itself is beautiful. It's really a great lake. It's interesting, at the bottom of this slough here, I don't know if you can see it, there's like a runoff. Yeah, I'll show you now. Like over there, there's a runoff right there. There's a little bit of like a mini, I don't know, pond, I guess you could say, that's formed there. Probably 3-4 feet of water. There's about 15, 20 to 30 pound carp in there, including a I think it's an albino carp. It's white. It must be an albino carp, but it's pretty crazy. The kids try to get in there all the time. There's some floating bread and get chased out by the wardens, but yeah, there's some good specimens in there. Okay, how the lake is. At least the beginning of it. So yeah, there's not a lot, like, it's difficult to like find a spot where fish are showing or there's activity. And I've walked this lake a number of times. So I do have a spot which it's kind of next to the small island here. You know, maybe 4 to 7 feet of water. I've caught a lot of fish here before, and there's some good patches here that I found that there's no weed, and I'm just going to give it a swing, provided someone else hasn't got it first. Ooh, there's a guy walking down there. What is he doing? What is he doing? I hope he is not taking my spot, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, I'll just fish right over here. This seems like a good spot. I'll just send it there and there. Okay, cool. Take off a little protector here, as you can see, little right there, off. Carp fishing 101. Your bait is not on the hook, it's off the hook, and number of ways to do it. The way that I use is I use floss. So basically, on my hooks, I got kind of a complicated-ish setup. You do not need to fish this way, but I'll have some videos and some much simpler carp setups. But the concept's the same. The actual hook bait, which is the thing the carp is going to eat, is going to go on. It's going to be dangling off the hook, not on the hook. That's very helpful because the carp inhales the hook. It's going to feel it. It's going to cause a major problem. The thing you want to do is check the sharpness of your hooks. I did this last night, so I know these are good, but just do the nail test. It should dig in. You can dig it into your palm a little bit. It should immediately just get into the skin. Give the tiger nuts a go today. I got some bait left over from my episode at the river with my family. Still looks pretty good. You want to make sure that it's going to break up when it hits the water. This looks like it definitely will. So I need to make more baits. I put it right in the fridge when I got home. They're the tiger nuts from the tiger nut episode. I'm using one tiger nut. They smell good. Perfect, actually. Slightly fermented is great. So I'm going to use one tiger nut with a different colored piece of corn on top of it for 2 reasons. The corn will help it float a little bit off the bottom. In fact, not off the bottom, just sort of hovering, just kind of just having movement, which is important. A little bit of movement, but it won't be floating. I'll go with the yellow and I'll go with the pink, just random. Different colors. I think the fish get affected in different light conditions. At the same time, there's a bit of corn in the actual bait itself, as you can see. So corn on the bait, corn on the hook, tiger nuts in the bait, tiger nuts on the hook. That seems like a pretty good combination to me. Good starting point. So here we go. Okay, so we'll do the pink one first. Take this little needle. You hook the floss over here. You push it over, and the floss runs between the baits, as you can see right there. And you just push it in. I like to push. I use these little micro swivels. I like to push it in so it's right on there. Hook it in here, get it on. Now what you want to do is you want to trim the floss and burn it down. Alright, so take the floss, cut a little bit off, leave a little bit left there, and pretty simply you just burn it. Melts it down, and then you blob it at the end, and then your bait won't come off. I'll have some videos on specifically how to do this and why you should do it. Just giving a little bit of tutorial as I go along. There it is. So that's ready to go. Ready for business. What I am going to do prior to putting the rods in is I'm going to actually test the ground to see where the weeds are. And there's a certain lead that you can use to help with this. I'll show it to you right now. Alright, this is my spot rod or my marker rod. Its only job is to cast things and find things. That's what it does. There it is, 12-footer. So I do like a special system at the end, which I'll show you at some point. Very, very easy to connect and disconnect leads from a marker rod, which is important because you use the same rod for casting spoms, which are the bombs that have bait in it. Use the same lead for casting a thing like this, which is a lead. There's little pieces of wire off it, and what that'll do is it'll catch up with weeds, and then you'll know if there's weeds down there. There's also a technique in carp fishing where you can feel the bottom when you cast. I don't really need to do that here. I know the bottom. I've fished this lake many times, and the reason you want to feel the bottom is fishing on super silty bottom can hide your bait. Okay, so I'm going to be fishing in front of me here, away from this gentleman, more like in kind of that direction, so don't bother him. And here we go. Nice cast. There we go. That's about just off the bubbler. I want it to hit just in front of it. So what I'm doing is I'm dragging the lead across the floor to see what I catch. Unless you're using like a helicopter rig, which I'm not going to, your bait's going to disappear in this stuff and you're not going to be catching fish. Okay, so there's this. Looks like string. It's actually weed, so I can't fish anywhere near that bubbler. That's not going to help me. Nope. So what I'm going to do, get rid of this stuff. We'll cast a little closer. There's a little channel right here, just in front of me, about 20 feet. It's deep. It's a nice deep channel. I might fish that. I'm going to cast a little closer. Yeah, this already feels better. I'm not going to be casting near where this guy's fishing, obviously. So here we go. Big difference. There we go. Check it out. Big difference. Okay, so that's it. It's not complicated. I'm not sure for too long, so I'm not going to waste too much time. Anywhere between halfway between the bubbler and me is where I'm going to be casting, and that's that. Okay, let's get to work. So we're going to put some pack bait on these things. That's the idea. Get this all teed up. There it is. Loosen my drag so I can get this down a little bit. You know what? This stuff's pretty sticky at this point. It's still pretty. As you can see, it's still kind of crumbly a little bit. That's what you want. And I'm going to pack it on real gingerly. There's not going to be any. There's no heavy hands here because I do not want this to stick too much. You want to always wet braid. I don't know if you can see this, but you're going to wet the braid. That helps it not tangling up in the cast. Okay. When I fish with braid, I also use a glove because if braid slips and doing a strong cast, you can just shred your finger. So you do not want to play that game. There we go. That's perfect. Yeah, it's on the money. That's just fine right there. Probably in about 6 feet of water. That'll totally work for me. Now what you do is you tether the line down. You notice I'm holding the tip under the water, and you're putting a bit of pressure. You can even use your hand just to hold the line. So you don't want to pull the bait out of its position now. And I don't know if you can see the line sort of coming under the water off the tension at the top. Now it's just about to join up, and then bang. So the line's under the water. So it's not nice and tight. There's no slack, or very little slack. And let's get the rod clipped in and then get the next one in, and off we go. I'm going to change the sensitivity of my alarms. You can use one of these clips here on your carp rod, which I like to use. I use them on both sides and just kind of has an equal drop on the indicator. A little closer than I would have wanted, but honestly, with the weed conditions, I know the weeds are less there, and I'm not going to argue with it. I'll just see what happens. So this is a receiver. So the alarms down there by the rods are linked to the receiver. I keep the receiver on me. Anything happens, I know about it and get down there pretty quick. Alright, so as you can see, my whole situation's a total mess. I don't like fishing in a mess at all, so I am going to clean it up. When it's done, it's going to be pristine, organized, ready for business. First thing is to take this birds somehow know when a carp guy arrives, and then they just like to go for it. But that's actually okay. Carp are quite curious, and activity attracts them, so I actually don't have a problem with that. What else I keep in my pocket is a little hemostat right here. Unhook the fish. When you get a fish in the net, unhook it as quick as possible. That hook can catch on the net and just tear the fish to pieces. You do not want that. That is a bad thing. Keep my casting glove on me, and that's basically it. Okay, well, rods are in, about 20 feet offshore. I found some spots that have less weed, which is good. And I know that the bait's visible and the hook bait's not hidden because the birds are pecking away at it. So generally speaking, the bait can be seen. So the birds can find it, the carp can find it. I actually don't mind if the birds are eating the bait. It creates a lot of activity. And that's good. Carp are super curious. They're going to want to investigate things, see what's going on. I use the tiger nut for a hook bait. Tiger nuts are tough. I mean, the bird's not getting it off, bottom line. And I've got a stiff fluorocarbon boom. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's the line between the lead and the hook, and it's stiff. So if a bird picks it up or a fish swishes around with its tail, it's going to reset. It's not going to tangle, basically. And so that's very helpful here. If you've got flat sort of conditions in the bottom of a lake or a river, just use a stiff boom. There's no reason not to. The only reason I would think you'd want to use like a coated braid or a braid or something like that would be if there's rocks or super uneven terrain and you don't want that boom kind of like boosting your hook bait into the 2-3 inches above the the bottom. So something that's supple like a braid will kind of mold to the rocks, and it won't look too unnatural for the carp. Anyway, we'll see what happens. It's a nice day. It's really mild weather, and yeah, looking forward to hopefully catching a big one. Oh, nice cup of tea. This is good. Oh, I forgot to put the milk in it. Oh, it's going to be strong. Yeah, it's one of the better parts of carp fishing. Crisp morning, nice cup of tea. Cheese, toast, yummy. Okay, my fellow fisherman here has got a nice bite. Take your time, keep your drag nice and loose, and don't rush. Do not rush. This is where you you win or lose here. Okay, I hope. There we go. Good job, dude. Sweet, man. Good job, man. Well done. Yeah, it's a nice fish. Very nice fish. Okay, let's go get our friend organized here. Caught himself a nice fish. This is a carp sack over here. Because it tears the nets. The fish is so heavy.
And the fin will.
That's okay. This is what this is made for.
Sorry to make you.
That's okay. This is also used to keep the fish overnight. To do a night session.
This is kind of a life.
You keep it in here, but this is also the way this one's designed. Is it's great for weighing fish. All right, so we're gonna get the fish in here. The nice thing about these carp-specific nets is that they disconnect over here. You can actually just sort of take it out. You disconnect it. Because it's a pretty heavy fish, you don't want to lift it out with the net. You're probably going to break it with most nets. So you lift it out like this. We'll transfer it to the carp sack. I'll show you how we do that in a second. Weigh the fish. We'll do a quick weigh. See, this nice thing about this net is the sack just made for weighing fish, which is great. And for some reason this darn scale of mine always goes to kilograms, so we'll do the conversion. You knock off a pound or two for, so you're at
kilos, really? That's it?
9.9 kilos. We'll convert that to pounds, and then we can knock off about 1 pound maybe for the sack. Smile, good job, dude. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a fish, dude. This is your PB? Is this your biggest?
25 is the PB.
Okay. All right. You want to get him? You want to get him back in?
Yeah.
All right. Let's just pop the head out of the net, and then you wait until it kicks back a little. Hold it by the tail a little bit, and you can kind of just put it upright. Push it back and forth a little bit, and once it gets the energy, there we go. See? It's in the weeds. It'll figure its way through. There we go. It's okay. It'll get through the weeds. It knows what it's doing. Come on, little fishy. It'll get through it. That's a big fish. There we go. Wow, that's a nice fish. Good job. Yeah, you're on a good spot, man. Well, the bait's working, but that's good. The activity's there. Yeah, so you need more pressure on the fish. Your rod should never go straight, ever, playing a fish. Like, that's perfect. Like, what you got there is perfect. And whatever it takes. So your drag's also a little too loose. because your rod is not really bent over, and when you turn the reel, the drag's letting line go. So you want to have the drag a little tighter. It's a balance between the bend in the rod and how much line it takes out. But there it is. Good job. I'm guessing it's a little whippersnapper catfish, but hey, all good. Oh man, has it crossed my line? I bet you it has. Let me see if I can get it the other side. Okay. It's a monster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've crossed my line. Actually, I don't know. I may have another fish here. I think I got 2 fish on. No, it has to have crossed my line. But I don't see it. Yeah, that looks like some line crossing there. Okay. Calm down there, little buddy. Calm down. Calm down. You went for the monster corn, did you? Okay. Where did you get hooked? You got hooked right in the corner of the mouth. That means it's working well. Okay. Oh, you're pretty tangled. All right, get out of there. Okay, well, there's a little catfish causing a lot of trouble. Alrighty, finishing up a fun day at the lake. About 5 hours. Wasn't expecting a whole lot, and a whole lot didn't really happen. We got one tiny cat, the most annoying small catfish alive. Just tangled everything up. It was just crazy, but a little baby cat. But the cool part is I was meeting a guy here who's getting into carp fishing, kind of fishing old school, using a little spring with a couple hooks, and techniques that are not great, but you know what, he caught a 20-pounder, and he caught on some dough he made at his house. So a whole bunch of stuff that I wouldn't recommend, generally speaking, but it's a perfect example of, you're not fishing for some like genius fish. It's just a fish, and you put some bait in the hook and you get it out there, and you have as much chance of catching as anyone else. And he had a blast. He caught a beautiful 20-pounder, as you've all seen, and great fishing, a lot of fun. I was able to give him a couple of pointers on his rod, like just some reeling in strategy, whether he wanted it or not. I suppose, I guess he's interested in learning a little bit. But great day, really cool day. I got to hang out with someone new, help get a fish in, and it's always fun being at the lake. I love carp fishing. Even if I catch nothing, it's still an amazing day. Something I really, really get a lot of pleasure at is other people enjoying the sport, and hanging out today with a guy who's just kind of getting into it, or just doesn't have something like advanced techniques. And seeing him catch a fish was just incredible. Really a great feeling. So hopefully many of you out there who are thinking about doing it will try. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm happy to help. It's a really easy thing to get into, a lot of enjoyment, and not a lot of cost. So super fun sport.